Gravitas, co-presented by Skoda. Kushaq, choose what really matters.
What about the country that put Afghanistan in this mess in the first place? The United States, what are they up to? The US Congress has been grilling America's top military leaders. A few big admissions have been made. Let me take you through some of them. Number one, the Pentagon says the Taliban was and is a terror group. This raises questions about America's ties with the Taliban. Have they ruled out diplomatic recognition? What happens to the fight against ISIS Khorasan? No clarity there. Number two, the Taliban have not broken their ties with the Al-Qaeda. Again, that's a very crucial admission. The 2020 Doha Agreement, remember, had specifically asked the Taliban to sever ties with the Al-Qaeda. And now the Pentagon says those links are intact. Plus, the Al-Qaeda is growing. Pentagon leaders admitted that the threat of a reconstituted Al-Qaeda is very real. They also hinted at the possibility of more attacks by Al-Qaeda and the ISIS Khorasan. That, of course, makes you question the entire objective of America's mission. Joe Biden claimed that the Al-Qaeda has been decimated. Clearly, his generals disagree with him. Number three, the Pentagon wanted to retain a small military presence in Afghanistan. General Mark Milley proposed keeping 2,500 troops. He submitted this proposal to President Joe Biden, but it was rejected. Number four, the Pentagon chief, Lloyd Austin, admitted America's ignorance on the ground situation in Afghanistan, whether it was corruption or poor leadership. He says the US did not comprehend these realities. Again, not true. Corruption in Afghanistan was widely reported by American media, no less. It's simply impossible that the Pentagon was unaware of these reports. Number five, a divide within the Pentagon. General Milley admitted that US credibility has taken a hit. He says allies are reviewing their ties with America. Lloyd Austin, the general, may have agreed, but not Austin, the politician. The Secretary of Defense maintains that America's credibility is solid. But he did admit one key failure, the US drone strike that killed 10 innocent people in Kabul. Take a look at some of the top moments from that hearing.
We helped build a state, Mr. Chairman, but we could not forge a nation. The fact that the Afghan army that we and our partners trained simply melted away, in many cases without firing a shot, took us all by surprise, and it would be dishonest to claim otherwise. We need to consider some uncomfortable truths. That we didn't fully comprehend the depth of corruption and poor leadership in the senior ranks. That we didn't grasp the damaging effect of frequent and unexplained rotations by President Ghani of his commanders. That we didn't anticipate the snowball effect caused by the deals that the Taliban commanders struck with local leaders in the wake of the Doha Agreement, and that the Doha Agreement itself had a demoralizing effect on Afghan soldiers.
We must remember that the Taliban was and remains a terrorist organization, and they still have not broken ties with Al-Qaeda. I have no illusions who we are dealing with. It remains to be seen whether or not the Taliban can consolidate power, or if the country will further fracture into civil war. But we must continue to protect the United States of America and its people from terrorist attacks coming from Afghanistan. A reconstituted Al-Qaeda or ISIS with aspirations to attack the United States is a very real possibility. And those conditions, to include activity in ungoverned spaces, could present themselves in the next 12 to 36 months.
There was also an interesting interaction between Senator Tom Cotton and the two military leaders. It seems there was some sort of delay in relaying military advice to President Joe Biden. You have to listen to this.
General Milley, Joe Biden has said that it was the unanimous recommendation of the Joint Chiefs that we not maintain a military presence beyond August 31st. We've heard testimony to that effect today as well. When was that unanimous recommendation sought and presented to the President?
You're talking about the 31 August?
Yes, the 31 August deadline for getting out of
on 25 August, I was asked to make an assessment and provide best military advice on...
I'm sorry, my time is limited here.
Okay.
You gave me the answer that I needed to hear. August 25th,
Correct.
Kabul fell on August 15th.
That's correct.
You were not asked before August 25th?
On August 25th, I was asked to provide best military assessment as whether we should keep military forces past the 31st.
Secretary Austin, was anybody asked before August 25th if we should keep troops at the Kabul airport?
This is the president tasked us to provide an assessment on whether or not we should extend our presence beyond August 31st. And as General Milley just said, that assessment was made. We tasked him to make that assessment on the 25th, and he came back and provided his best military advice.
Secretary, Kabul fell on August 15th. It was clear that we had thousands of Americans. It was clear to members of this committee who were getting phone calls that we had thousands of Americans in Afghanistan behind Taliban lines on August 15th. And it took 10 days to ask these general officers if we should extend our presence. I suspect the answer might be a little different if you were asking them 16 days out, not 5 days out.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.
Gravitas, co-presented by Skoda. Kushaq, choose what really matters.